The Nimble with Numbers team presents Chalk Blocked with Bo Big Time McBrayer.
I gotta know what a $5 shake tastes like.
That's not.
I want to win it, folks. You don't know diddly.
And his partner, Scott Stag Simpson.
Do you know who I am?
Trying to put Tiger Bomb on this jungle's nut.
That's cute. I remember when I had my first beer.
I gotta catch a glimpse of these warlocks. Let's make a move. Let's make a move. Let's make a move.
Hey, you guys, welcome back to Chalk Blocked, the world's sexiest DFS show for now. I am Bo McBrayer, as always, brought to you alongside Nimble W Numbers, Scott Stack Simpson. We are a Nimble with Numbers production, winning you money at NFL DFS. We are going to hit the big time flavor code drops. We're going to leverage the field. We're going to save salary cap, and we're going to take home the quiche. How are you doing, Simpson?
I'm ready to block the chalk. I'm all
Scotty Stacks is ready to block that damn chalk. That's what we're here for.
all chalk blocked up. Here's the best thing about DFS, right? You fucked up your draft. Jordan Love's already hurt. Your team is who gives a shit?
It don't matter.
No matter. You got redemption written all over every play in DFS. You can do anything you want. It's a brand new slate. Tried to explain it to my mother-in-law today. I said, basically, you get to play whatever you want, however you want, with whoever you want, anytime you fucking want. She got it.
No regrets here from Simpson at all, because I am laying the smackdown in the analytics department on the defending champ. By the way,
it's not
kudos to you
not great
for being the defending champ. But week one up against your boy, I'm laying the smackdown, and I was one pick away from having Jaden Reed added to that whole mess. You are grateful every second that you don't have to worry about that on Sunday, because DFS means you can win money. And for me, in a position where I have a ton of Jaden Reed, I have a ton of Saquon Barkley, I'm feeling really good, but I don't want to have to wait for my championship money to roll in around early January. I want my money now.
This very day, or tomorrow, right away. And that's what DraftKings is. They give it to you right away. Speaking of giving it to someone right away, I'm going to be giving it to Bo right away in our clash of beards and bellies. I got less belly. Yeah, I got less belly, more beard. Bo's got the beard for both of us.
And the belly for both.
Yeah, well,
I'm eating for two now, apparently.
I tried to pick you up with the expo. That didn't work. I couldn't do that.
I've been craving pickles and ice cream lately because you lost all the weight and I found it.
Oh my gosh, dude! I'm excited to be 188. This is what I weighed when I was 12. I'm my 12.
Same for me. I can't relate. Like right now, I'm 188 in my pants.
Right, just your leg, just your three legs are 188.
My pants.
Yeah, that's why we're the sexiest. Yeah, sexiest DFS show for now. Yeah. And I got my Maryland gear on. I'm not going to take it off, but because I've lost fat, I have guns now. I didn't do any push-ups. It's just revealing the guns. What's that say there? NorCal? I love it.
Shout out NorCal.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no offense, but SoCal too, laying wood on people last week and stuff too. So, you got some Cals there. Cal's pretty good. The whole state's pretty guys. You guys got some ballers.
All right.
In San Francisco, other teams in the NFL. If you don't know that we're doing some bullshit here to get the show started, we talk DFS. We break down the DraftKings main card, the 12 games that are on the main slate. We use Run the Sims from Justin Freeman and Pat Mayo. Love those guys. And yes, and I have a lifetime membership for this program. So until I die, we're going to do this. And I love doing this. So we're going to break down. Let me show you guys what we got under the hood. And we're going to let you show you kind of how we make the sausage. And this is what we do when we go in to plan and to
sausage.
Yeah. And before I do that, you got to go follow the show. You got to go follow Bo McBrayer. If you do not already, there's a nice, sexy picture of him at the beach.
Caribou Lake.
The lake in California, correct? Is that where we're?
Caribou Lake.
Beautiful.
NorCal.
Yeah. BigTimeFlavorCo.com. We're going to, always go there as well to get all of your needs.
Shout out to Mrs. McBigtime for completely redesigning the site, taking the product photos. My boy Fluff, one of my best friends, he's going to win his 6th consecutive fight powered by my stuff on October 19th.
I'll watch it.
Yep. He's going to beat up on a Brazilian named Michel Pereira.
I gotta tell you, the taco sizzin, the Baja bundle here, totally worth it. Your taco sizzin made my fantasy draft. The ribs were just K magnifique. I don't know if you dry rubbed ribs before, beef ribs. I also butter fry them up in a nice little cast iron skillet because I'm
like a true carnivore.
My God, man, it is just getting me hard thinking about it right now. And those are definitely the
full mast.
So do sign up. You can get your email in here. Be the first to know when things drop. That's something you should definitely sign up for. Go follow Bo. You can also follow Hotbox. And then if you go back and follow your boy, let me get back to my profile, Scott Simpson. We also have a chalk block. So it's just chalk block. There you go. Follow us. This is what we do. We'll get a better picture. We're kind of old, a little older in these pictures. We got to get a little younger. But what are you going to do? Let's get into the how it all works. And this is under the hood here. I've got it already pumping. This is the classic optimizer from runthesims.com. NFL Premium Pass. If you want to,
it feels like I'm running an incredible rate.
Sign up and put Nimble in. I'll get like $1. I don't know. But what's cool about this is we'll go over the settings, get the player pool here. This gives you their optimal rate, their projected rostership, their boom rate, optimal leverage, their bust rate, their ceilings, all those things. You can break it down by game. You can also go into the settings when you go to build and run your sims to how many lineups you want. Are you looking for that one sparkling lineup? Or are you going to build
bullet? Yeah,
one bullet. You go in GPP heavy and you want to see a nice plethora. And then you can kind of get, how unique do you want your lineups? You want you're not, way unique.
The sliders are so clutch.
Yeah. And you can just kind of adjust your max exposure to players. We like to keep it around 30 and under for some players. Most of the time we don't like to go above 30, but maybe it'll happen, but we like to manually adjust that ourselves. And then the money, right? You want to leave a little bit on the table. I like to leave maybe $1,200 at the most on the table. I like to spend my money. And then randomness, I'll give it like 5. I don't know what that means, but
it's provocative.
It is. And then max players per team. I'll put it to 4 because you can have like a build where you've got like
Onslaught.
Jonnu Smith with Tua, Tyreek, and Waddle. Boom, there's 4. You know what I mean? And so
that's a lot of Dolphins.
I know we're not doing that, but I mean, somebody could do that today.
That is a lot of Dolphins.
That's a lot of porpoises. I don't know. Something like that. Get your thesis.
Bottlenose Dolphins.
Yeah. You also have the stack builder. We're going to use this a lot. And this is cool because you can get into each of these games, break down how you want to build tight ends, running backs, quarterbacks, run back stacks. It's the shiznit. We love that. And then we also get into the results when you run your data. It's all powered by Fantasy Data, by the way. We know them. We love them. We've used them for years. With that being said, one of the cool features is that you can look at the spread on these games. And we really do use the spread. Vegas is kind of like the cheat code.
Spread.
We spread it.
Spread.
Yeah. So that's why that's actually a show. We're looking at the top number here as the total points in the game.
Speaking of spread, not to derail your Run the Sims love fest here, but
yes. Speaking
of spread, how locked in was that minus 6.5 for Nebraska against Colorado right now? That's a spread.
Wide
Jabin's in the house.
Yeah.
Mark Parechin, one of our faves.
Yes. Appreciate you, brother. He's in a few of our leagues as well. And you stand no chance against me, but
apparently he likes Boston too. Something about Boston.
Nothing wrong with that. I mean, they've had their time. It's over, but that's okay. We'll see if they can get some glory this year with who's their quarterback again?
Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah. We'll talk about him next.
Drake may eventually.
But with that being said, let's jump in. We're just going to go down the line of games starting at 1 p.m. to 4:25 p.m. Is that how it goes? Oh, man.
4:20.
Yeah, 4:20.
Nice.
Here's what I don't like. You've got 12 games, and then 8 are in the first window. Give me 7. Give me 7 and 5.
6. I want a balanced.
I
don't understand that. It's so stupid.
It is, and we're going to complain about it. So this is the overview, and the cool little color slider gives us the projected. So what we'll do with each team is we'll kind of get into what the big picture is. Yeah, the chickadee chalk is really on this matchup, particularly with Hill. I'm guessing of run back with Evan Ingram, who's underpriced at 5,500, given his touchdowns, his upside, his red zone, what he kind of does. And so it's, underpriced, but they're tight ends. But in this matchup, he is their top red zone target, or is he? That's
I love that 1.7% boom rate though.
yeah, that's not good. Is it? That's
The worst leverage number on the whole board. That's impressive.
that's bad. That's bad. Yeah,
That's impressive.
I will say I am running him out against you in a head-to-head, but that's it's not in the cash.
I mean, you had such a good year last year that I think you fell in love with 2023. You're living in the was, bruh, because I think Evan Ingram is a serious regression candidate starting tomorrow.
I agree. If you're not going to play Evan Ingram, which this chalkiness tells me I'm not going to play him in tournaments, your boy is also Christian Kirk this year, 5,500, same price, almost the same. Now, different, little bit leverage there because you got more wide receivers and then less tight ends. That's why the 17 is a little more shaded than the 16 here. Yeah. But also negative optimal leverage as well. He's only 1 point behind. Sell me on Kirk. Sell me on Kirk over Ingram because they're both kind of in that same window. We've got Brian Thomas. You've got Gabe Davis. But
yes.
Tell me what
Gabe Gavis,
Gabe Snavis down there.
Actually, I'm high on the Jags offense, but I'm kind of high on the Dolphins defense this year. I think they're going to be quite a bit better than they were last year, which is saying a lot. They were a pretty decent unit last year until they lost Jalen Phillips to the Achilles. But Phillips has been a key part of that pass rush, and he's. I mean, this defense is going to be good long term. And the Jags, as good as I think their passing game is, I don't know who's the guy going to be. Who's the guy? Christian Kirk's your slot. Evan Ingram's kind of a slot. You got Thomas on the outside, who's a deep threat. I like his upside more. I guess I'd favor Thomas at a cheaper price because he is your big game hunter. He's your big play guy. And Trevor Lawrence, for as chalky as his receivers are, that's a nice little spot there. Only at 9% owned, but I mean this game I think will be under the total of 49. I think it's gonna be like a 24-21 game, which is fine. But I'm not gonna be heavily stacking this one when the next one is super duper juicy.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I think you're paying up for Tyreek Hill. That's fine.
Oh yeah, you can do that. 23% and 23% of your finest DFS players will have Tyreek Hill in their lineup. Even if Tyreek's 35%, he's probably has a decent chance of breaking the slate anyway. So yeah, I'm not going to fault anybody for playing Tyreek or Waddle. I'm just kind of off of the game stack narrative because I don't know who the guy in Jacksonville is going to be.
Yeah, there's some uncertainty there, which always does create opportunity and value if you can pick the right guy. But I'm not saying we need to play Russian roulette. We will build a stack or two just for funsies. But take a look at Tua. Tua's only 3% projected. So
nice.
Tyreek is doing one-off work, is what we call it here at Chalk Block, where he's not being stacked, he's not being run back.
There's Jalen, apparently.
Yeah. So let's go build a stack, and all you got to do is roll up here to the stacks right in the middle there. Click on your matchup, and then you've got the two. So out of the two quarterbacks, I think I'm favoring Tua if I'm going to be stacking. Who are you running it back with? Are we going to do a Thomas stack?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. And then we'll just give it a couple, maybe 4% of our builds. Anybody else? Are you into any of these backs? Waddle as well? Yeah, we could do.
If I'm doing a stack of this game, I'm going double barrel Dolphins with the quarterback, and then running it back with either Thomas or Kirk, but most likely Thomas, just because he's got a little bit more of that big play ability.
Yeah. Let me go back. And the cool part is it'll save your stacks, right? You got your stacks there. Yeah. It'll populate over here on the side when you're done. But let me go back to my player pool. What do you think about these running backs here? Achan is 15%. Most are 2%. 2%. He's got,
that's a lever. I don't know if I'm stacking a running back in this game, but I'm going to have a lot of Mostert just because he is the starting running back for the Dolphins. Everybody seems to have forgotten that. Achan, of course, is a home run threat. That's why he's getting a lot of attention in DFS. But if I'm playing any kind of tournament, and I see a guy who scored 18 touchdowns last year at 2% owned in week 1 against a suspect run defense, I think I'll take Raheem Mostert in a tournament.
I like that. Nice little one-off play. You don't need to correlate it unless, of course, you do like the Dolphins D, which you did say was improved. So you could do a little correlation if you're trying to be unique in your build. I want to build one. Sorry, without. I want to build one with Achin and Tyreek Hill, and I'll run it back with Christian Kirk because I think Achin will be a pass receiver too. I think he'll be lining up in the slot. I think he'll be used in motion across moving so he can get prime matchups against linebackers that are much less fleet of foot. Yes, slowest.
Everybody is slower than Devon Achane except for maybe Xavier Worthy, who we've seen is incredibly fast.
Yeah, I saw a nice breakdown of that play today, and they're like, they should have seen it coming. They bunched everybody up in the middle, and then they put their wide receiver real close on the edge, and then
just sucked everybody up into the middle of the field, and that first cut where he kind of like banked off of his own momentum, and just like it was like he was shot out of a cannon. And for a guy that was already pretty blistering fast, for him to be able to make that foot in the ground cut and accelerate even further, that's something that's rare. That is like Xavier Worthy's got that rare speed.
Rare and unfair. And then just a straight blown coverage later in the game, which you don't normally see.
Happens.
No, from the Ravens, they're more of a sound defense, but I'm not sure who pushed him off, but
it was the cover 2, and I think that the safety got stuck. The safety was paying too close of attention to the slot and got pretty much occupied by that. So he kind of just sat down behind the corner in the cover 2, and usually the safety is guarding that boundary, but he was not there. He was not there at all.
You know who would have been there? Ed Reed. Just so you know.
Oh, Ed Reed is
Ed
Reed is the wind. He is everywhere.
Oh my gosh! I just watched a little thing about how McDaniels was talking to Edelman. And they're talking about how when they were trying to design the plays, they're like, "Don't throw it back here or here." Like that's the whole field. Like,
Tom Brady always said that was his only instruction when playing the Ravens was where's 20 and go to the opposite side.
Don't throw it there. And
every play.
The hard part is he can cover both sides. That's what they say.
Yeah,
he's a cover one. He's cover one himself. He's cover 2, but it's a cover 1. So all right. Moving on to your game, which I like this game as well. Anthony Richardson is heavily rostered. So just know that 1 in 5 of these rosters is going to be Anthony Richardson. There's a pivot in this game itself. If you want to go to JT right away, you can just see that there's an option there. And then also, he's only 6% rostered. Listen, the way that this happens is that JT takes a 50 burger to the house. Anthony Richardson not needed for the extra point. He's not going to rush it in on that one. So he just takes the ball out of his hands. That's how Anthony Richardson kind of doesn't hit expectation, which can happen in a game. JT can go. He gets to catch a screen, and then Anthony Richardson gets rewarded too. But at 6%, that's sick and should be exploited for sure. I saw that today, and I went, ooh, me and Bo are going to just love that one because
I just love how leveraged the stacks are. Even if you want Richardson, and if you stack some of these wide receivers for Houston and Indy, like with Michael Pittman Jr. is going to get a ton of volume.
Yeah,
you got Adonai Mitchell, who's super underpriced.
I love him.
3,800. I mean, AD Mitchell is a big play guy too. He's a lot like
he's a fast little slot man, isn't he?
No, he's a tall, lanky boundary receiver, but he's got burners. Downs as the slot guy, but he's out.
He's out. That's what it is. Yep. Okay.
Yeah. So Alec Pierce would probably normally start at Z, but I think he might move into the slot just to make room for Adonai Mitchell to be that vertical off the line receiver where Pittman is your X receiver, but they're going to move the receivers around. Obviously the Texans receiving core was awesome last year. It's even better this year because they got some guy named Diggs out there. It's 6,700. There's your easy stack. Is if you're going to go Richardson for obvious reasons, he's a super dynamic player. I'm gonna stack this game all sorts of different ways. I'm gonna exploit how good Nico Collins is. I'm gonna exploit how leveraged Stephon Diggs is, and you can do all sorts of fun stacks with this game with both quarterbacks. CJ Stroud obviously not a rushing threat, so a lot of people are kind of ignoring him next to Richardson in the same game. But if he hits that 300-yard mark, which he should, you're going to see that nice little bonus make up for the lack of rushing production.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to win for Richardson, and I don't know if people can see because the screen is it's a little small. I'm not gonna lie, I can make it a little bigger here. What I just did is over here in the min max section, I went and just made sure that
You had some.
I've got mins now. So maxes are all 30, and that'll kind of cap off. But then mins, I want AD Mitchell at least 10%, Diggs 15. I put Diggs 15 because he's 5%. So five compared to these two. And I mean, he's always going to be that wide receiver 2 in the middle. And so it's going to be hard to price him. He's going to be kind of up and down all year. I think he'll actually maybe go, down, so, and I think Tank Dell will come up a little bit too. So, but I think he's a great play for leverage. And so I want a little bit there. You want to build some stacks?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, stack attack. Okay. So let's start with Richardson in the QB. And then you want to go Pittman and Mitchell? You want to make this like a big time, big boy stack? We got like 5 people in there, or you just want to do like a little, I
want to do Richardson and Pittman with Diggs and either Dell or Collins.
Okay, we can do that immediately. We can do that. Okay, I like that. Make it 5% here. We try not to go above 5 to 8% on really any of these stacks because we're going to build.
Yeah, you want variety. Variety.
We're going to jump in here and play around with them. We want to kind of just keep it, not as high in our overall builds. But I do like these. That's Nico. That's too high. Actually, there you go. Yeah, I can't do that one. That's a little too expensive. But actually, I'll give myself 1% of that. But
just a little taste.
Well, 26 is. I mean, I like the 25-3 over here with Diggs and Tank Dell, Pittman, Richardson. Are you any interested in at all? We don't have to be interested in them, but are you interested in any of these tight ends in this matchup? You got Dalton Schultz, 1% projected rostership.
No,
Kyle Granson 3. I mean, these guys are just forgotten.
Dalton Schultz way overpriced. Kylan Granson, no. Yeah, no. There's better tight ends on this slate.
Yeah, around that price point too. So, all right, I like it. All right, let's go to the next game, which is Carolina visiting the New Orleans Saints. Who dat?
Nolans.
That's who it is. Rashid Shaheed. Hopefully he's Shaheeding. Yeah, speaking of tight ends, they've got the package, the ultimate package there in Taysom Hill. Mm-hmm. His package is ever expanding. That's what Denny Carter always tells me. So
it's perpetual.
Actually, I drafted him in my league here that Denny's in my basement, and when I did, Denny jumped up in anger and went no. And so when you get
he gets sniped.
Yeah, 14th round, he just forgot. People forgot about the package, and I just wanted to draft just for the reaction, and it was.
Well, he's probably going to be a top 12 tight end just by happenstance, and he's being drafted as like tight end 21 in a lot of leagues. So it's an oversight.
Here's the thing about him:
he's not even a tight end.
Well, the New Orleans Saints quarterback position itself scored the 5th most fantasy football points last year, and Derek Carr ranked like 21st or something overall as QB. Like, he was not good, right? So it wasn't Derek Carr. It was the fact that you can have this cheat code in there at times, and then also you could have Jameis just throw snot missiles, whatever. So you had other options at the QB position that were scoring points. So now
Derek Carr's been allergic to the touchdowns since 2016.
Yeah, he hasn't had a touchdown that he's liked in a long time. So speaking of that, though, they are the 2 of the cheaper guys down here, and nobody's roster at 1%.
It's gonna be a super low scoring game.
Yeah, 41.5. I'm going under this. Actually, I think this goes under.
Yeah, this game's pretty gross. I'm
not.
gonna want a little bit of Kamara, but I'm not gonna reach 23%.
That's a lot for an RB, by the way, kids.
That's a cash game play.
Yeah,
if you like Kamara like I do, sprinkle him into your rosters, but don't go haywire because 6,700 is a decent high price. And the Panthers defense is okay. It's not great, but it's not terrible either. The really bad play is 15% Chuba Hubbard. He's not a good football player. That's a huge waste of salary at 5,300. I would even think that Miles Sanders would outscore him in this game because Chuba Hubbard's terrible. He's a terrible football player. Miles Sanders, when healthy, is a better football player. He is active. He's cheaper. He's barely owned by anybody. If you're in a tournament and you're playing Chuba Hubbard, you already lost.
Well, I gotta tell you, we do dueling banjos here, and that's when you have two RBs and you play them both. This is an anti-dueling banjo. This is when you
Playing none of them.
playing, smashing, breaking banjos. And
All right. Yeah,
I mean,
this is a dual chalk fade.
look at the red over here. You don't want red, kids. Red is bad. That's.
I mean,
bad.
if you get red, you might as well have it at running back, but that's excessive.
If it's this red, your lineup's dead. That's all I gotta say, kids.
That's a good rhyme.
That's it. Dr. Seuss is loose here on the show.
Fucker is spitting.
Look at this. This is 25% negative optimal leverage. If you're entering a tournament and your RBs have you at negative 25, you are not winning that tournament unless an act of God. So you don't want that. You just want an act of like men. So
God ain't answering that call.
no. On the other side, if you do think that some of these wide receivers can get loose, I do.
Oh yes.
Carolina secondary, not terrible. They've got some players returning from injury, and they're okay. Okay. But Chris Olave,
nobody on that. The Panthers defense is okay. None of them can cover Chris Olave.
No, and Rashid Shaheed's been known to get behind people too. He's their kick and punt returner here. 44 between them, 11 hunch. If you're stacking, just
2%, 4,400 Rashid Shaheed.
Yeah.
I think it's mainly because of injury concerns. He's still questionable,
right?
But he's probably going to play, and his upside at 4,400 at 2% that's Cooterville right there.
Oh, yeah.
That's Smash City.
Yeah.
In DFS, he's the perfect player you want to play at that spot.
Yep. And I mean, Chris Olave, I'd say cash play, yes. Tournament play, yeah. Both. Leaning more in cash because he's going to be getting the targets, but then the upside is there for him to take it to the house.
Yeah, Deontay's the cash play.
Yeah, Deontay will see targets as well.
He is the only Panther who can get open. The only one.
I don't know if Marcus Lattimore is going to take a day off and just guard Adam Thielen. I think he'll probably be on Deontay a little bit. So it'll be a little physical matchup for Deontay. Not that he cannot. He's a precise route runner. But if you can get in his face, that's one thing that can kind of he's not a George Pickens guy who's going to come and throw you off the line and say, fuck you. He's not that kind of guy. He's a finesse, get open, get in space, use his, ballerina-like tap shoes. And, so that could be something to watch there.
Scroll down. I want to see those cheap options too.
Yeah. A.T. Perry, he's a little banged up. I think he might.
Yeah, he's not practicing. He's probably not playing. I was gonna say if he practiced on Friday, then he'd be a nice little sleeper upside pick. But yeah, he's probably not playing.
Yeah, keep an eye on him this year, though. We'll talk about.
Yeah, he's a touchdown machine.
Yeah. All right, next game, another barn burner here at 41. We're in a stretch.
Woof.
We're in a stretch of 40.
Sam Darnold against Daniel Jones in the battle of the same white guy drafted early.
Right. This is the white privilege bowl right here. We're going to call it. Right.
This is the failing upward bowl.
If you hate wokeness, you love this game. This is your game. You're really happy about it.
Hey, at least Daniel Jones used to have rushing upside. We don't know what he's going to look like rushing with coming off the ACL. He'd probably still be okay.
Yeah, he can't turn his neck though, so that's bad.
Yeah, 5,400 for Daniel Jones. Maybe
sideways like this.
Yeah, I think this game is going to be if you have tolerance for Justin Jefferson with Darnold at the helm, he's not getting a lot of love there. Malik Neighbors getting a lot of love because he's the only guy on that Giants team that's good.
Yeah.
The entire team.
Yep. Well, no one else. They already gave away Saquon, who apparently is alive. Don't tell LQ.
Poor LQ.
I know.
He did defend himself that was a pre-strawberry take.
Yeah. Well, and listen, pre-strawberry, it changes your world. You eat a strawberry for the first time when you're in your 30s, you know what I mean, or 20s. Yeah,
that's incredible.
Well, let me just say, I tweeted out.
I'm happy for him.
Yeah, I'm happy for him too. I tweeted out, I've got no Saquon shares, and then people, tried to roast me a little bit. Here's the reason why, kids. And maybe in one draft, your draft, I could have drafted him, right? Yeah. Every other draft, I had the second, third, first, second. I'm not picking Saquon second.
And he's not going to be there at the end of the second.
Never. He was never there ever. No. So, I had one chance.
He was a late first, early second round pick everywhere, all the drafts. If he slipped to the middle of the second, you were like, hot diggity damn, Saquon's available at 206.
I never got there. And in your league, I took AJ Brown over Saquon. And
which is nice.
Which is fine.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
And I ended up taking JT and Saquon at the turn.
Well played, sir. Well played.
Yeesh. And a little bit of Xavier Worthy in my flex.
Yes, I saw that. So with that being said, as we're roster baiting over here for our other cue the Ruckskin music. So, I like when he goes to roster bait and his wife comes in for sex, and he's like, he's jacking it to his team. Malik Neighbors 5,900. That will increase. I think he will be a target monster. I'm a little worried though in this narrative of like the shootout run back Neighbors Jefferson, because the total's 41.
Yeah, and the quarterbacks are not good.
Not good. So I mean, I like Justin Jefferson for an anytime touchdown. That's something I like. He's gonna score a touchdown.
He's what they call quarterback proof.
Yeah, and I played him against you in our lineup, but I'll share that with the fans a little bit. But
the leverage guy is Jordan Addison.
I was gonna say. Banged up a little bit coming in mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, soul seeking.
1% Jordan Addison.
I'm not going to tell you something. I did something nasty. I built these little lineup, right? Little dollar entry, one single entry tournament. I put Sam Darnold, Jordan Addison, and Justin Jefferson in this lineup.
That's disgusting.
Terrible. I was like,
that is disgusting. You probably shouldn't have said that on the live show.
I went into the bathroom so no one could even. No one was in the basement. I just walked in the bathroom.
You want a private browser?
Put the fan on so no one could hear me as
incognito.
I'm just like blip 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 blip. I'm like, oh my gosh.
At FBI, take him down.
He's got fucking Sam Darnold in the get him.
Jesus
Christ. Him. Right. So
even I'm not that degenerate.
We're not going to build any stacks on this, but I did notice they were giving me, because I was playing, Russian roulette earlier. They were giving me Theo Johnston out the wazoo. He's
smart.
I like that. 2,500 here. Daniel Bellinger around. Theo Johnson, new guy,
cheaper.
Yeah,
and named the starter.
More athletic.
Named the starter.
Yeah. Plays the game on the field. So that's what you want. So I'm sure we'll get some Theo Johnson. As a matter of fact, I'm going to lock him in just for 10% because I don't want to lose out because they're going to give me 30. But
that is one of the better value tight ends on the board.
Yes.
So that,
I wanted to point that out too, since we are in this.
I'm with you.
We're not building
Theo Johnson from, I believe, Penn State.
Listen, the Nittany Lions are good at a couple of things. We're not going to get into all of them, right? Some of them are amazing. Some of them not so amazing.
Yeah.
But we'll just leave it there. All right. Next game. Oh man. Okay. So let's just talk about this. We've got.
What the hell are we doing with this game?
Man, Jamar Chase has not practiced with his quarterback since last year.
I don't care about that. If he's on the field, you can get leverage.
You can play him, but 9%. I think this will go up tomorrow. I think we wake up tomorrow. This will be
they say he's playing,
15%. So I don't believe this, but Yoshibas is at 15%. So we already that is expensive.
That's the chalk that we block.
You blocked it, man.
That's the name of the show.
Yes. What about Chase Brown? He's only 3.
Absolutely.
That's sexy.
That is dump off central.
Yes. Yeah, you're not going to get that out of Zachy Moss wherever he's hiding. Oh, he's down here, terribly priced at 58.
If Zach Moss lumbers into the end zone a couple times, he might pay off. But he's still no 58.
That's not. I can't. That's.
Call me crazy. I'm not starting him in any of the leagues. I have Jermaine Burton in a ton of leagues because he was a value all summer. But I'm not starting him in redraft. But for a couple tournament lineups, I'm going to stack him with Joe Burrow because I just got to see something.
Let's see what happens. This is a little play, a little game.
No, I'm not adding any Patriots anywhere because their offensive line is bad and their receivers are young and their quarterback's Jacoby Brissett. So maybe you pray that you get some Ramondre Stevenson junk PPR from dump off passes like Chase Brown will get. But yeah, Yoshivas is going to be too chalky for his upside. If Chase plays, then he's going to be a super chalk bomb. This game's gross. It's disgusting.
Yeah. We've had like 4 after 2 great. So let me just say, target the first 2 games. Most of your builds, your stacks, your run backs, your game build. Fuck fuck those games. And then I'm still gonna have a game to fuck. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, add more U's to that.
Right, okay.
Hold it.
Hold. It's like the Braveheart hold on this one here.
Hold.
With
No,
that,
actually, the onslaught stack applies for this game.
right. I was going to say I like Drake London. Apparently, everyone else does too. At 6K,
It's easy.
It's gross.
You're gonna want to do a little bit of stacking, not with Kirk Cousins. I don't think he has enough upside, but the stack is gonna be with Justin Fields and Drake London, or Justin Fields and Kyle Pitts, or Justin Fields and Bijan Robinson. Because Justin Fields doesn't need anything to score a ton of fantasy points.
Right.
You could run Justin Fields out there naked and he could pay off. Because one thing we know about Arthur Smith is all of the skill positions are trash for fantasy except a decent quarterback. And Justin Fields is a million times better than Desmond Ridder or Taylor Heineke. He's a billion times better than what Arthur Smith has had the last 2 years at quarterback. Will Arthur Smith use any sound logic or judgment on who gets those targets from Justin Fields? Absolutely not.
No, and neither will Justin Fields, by the way, because he won't know until he's doing it.
Yeah, or he's already predetermined it before the snap, and that's where he's going no matter what.
Yeah, I'll be looking for Darnell Mooney. The only problem is Darnell Mooney now plays
for the Falcons.
Not for the current team he's on. So look for that, kids.
Not great. Yeah. For me, the Falcons are going to obliterate Pittsburgh. They're going to embarrass them. They're going to put up a ton of points. So I'm going to be throwing in a bunch of Falcons by themselves. London, Robinson, Pitts. If I play any Steelers at all, it's going to be Najee or Jalen Warren in a cash game where there's hardly any risk to it. You know they're going to get volume. We just don't know what they're actually going to produce because Arthur Smith is a terrible coach. He's a terrible failed upward his whole life coach. Like if there was a story about a billionaire's son who grew up and took his dream job and failed at it and still continued to get jobs. Hey, that sounds familiar.
That's his story. Wait a minute. I see what you did there.
It's a damn movie.
Wait, I was thinking the same thing. We could write that script and become bazillionaires.
Have you ever met a billionaire's son?
No, I don't ever want to. Actually, no, I have. He was in one of my fantasy leagues, and honestly, we're hanging out one time in Austin. Comes up to me, he's like, "Man, I really noticed you guys are just so much. You love your friend. You don't want him to get drunk. You're watching out for him. Like we were concerned for him too. Like it's a bad party, by the way." He's like, "Yeah, you're a really good guy, man. I noticed you and Mike, our other podcast partners that we work with. He's like, yeah, you guys are just really good guys and just amazing guys. And is that some coke over there? Hold on, guys. Let me just run over and
hold that thought.
Oh yeah. So you just were, like I was saying, you guys are just a really good guys. So I was like, okay, all right, billionaire boy, have fun. So yeah, one billionaire boy. We'll call him the cokester. So
yeah. So play the Falcons. Don't play the Steelers. It's I don't know if the Pittsburgh Steelers will even crack 24 points in a game this whole season. Yeah. That's how little faith I have in Arthur Smith as a coach of any facet.
Yeah, sans Kirk Cousins, you could just
that's sexy.
Drake, Bijan, and then the Pitster.
Well, and Pitts is chalky because he's so cheap. That's I don't care. Like I'm gonna still have a good amount of him because 20% Pitts, I might have 15% in my lineups exposure. I'm not going to miss out on that value, especially not in cash games.
Yeah.
In tournaments, you just got to be wary of the ownership factor there.
Yeah,
I mean, he's obviously not a leverage pick. He's just a boom bust kind of $4,600 tight end.
Yeah, and the 22%, 20%, 17%. When you if you did all three of those, like I did, like that little stack right there, that makes you unique. By the way, all that fades away. Nobody else has that.
Right.
Except for you, maybe one or two. And so,
well, and Zach Robinson, the offensive coordinator for the Falcons, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
He knows he has a basketball team out there on the outside, and he knows he's got a freak of nature, LaDainian Tomlinson clone in his backfield. I think Zach Robinson's going to have fun this year with the weaponry that Arthur Smith refused to put on the field.
Yeah. No. Ooh, we got a little hot take coming in. Bowers over Pitts this week.
As a college prospect, it's probably right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's
As a pro, we don't know.
we
I
will
mean,
see. There in
Bowers, guess where Bowers is from?
NorCal.
NorCal.
Yeah, his hairline is from 1987. So,
Well, hey, think of the reason people go bald. High T.
high T. Yeah, it's like the Hulk. Yeah, he's the Hulk.
Yeah. Brock Bowers confirmed high T.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's got the T. It's all over his.
And he's a freak athlete. Kyle Pitt's a freak athlete in a different way. Brock Bowers was giving rushing attempts at the University of Georgia, who's produced a few good running backs in their days.
Yeah, I've heard of some of those guys too.
They're like, oh yeah, our tight ends so athletic. We're just going to give him rushing attempts too.
Right, that's what you do.
Yeah, Brock Bowers is a literal freak.
Yeah, super freaky, super freaky. I don't want to get pulled from YouTube, and I'll stop saying. Into the next game, which we start to get up. The temperatures get higher. Kids, 44.5 at home. The Bears unveiling their
this is the second to last one.
brand new Porsche. Yeah, not that they just got.
Oh man, this offense is fun.
It's ready to go. Caleb was up around 15%. He's down to 9%, which I think I like that. I like that a lot. I'm into that. Let's look at some of his weaponry here and see what they're doing here. Roma Dunze, 13%.
DJ Moore,
6%.
Oh
my gosh. And and Keenan Allen being 6,900. Okay.
He's got that heel injury. He's got a bad heel.
What are we doing there, kids? That's a no for me. I'm 1% chalk, but still, I'm not.
That's expensive.
I mean, $400 less. You get a faster, younger, more targeted, more route run, more over the field. I don't know.
Healthier.
Better. You know.
Healthier.
So yeah.
DJ Moore.
Yeah. Apparently we missed the joke, Bo.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that was
I had my queue set when I went off the grid, and I apparently forgot to order it to have Bowers below Pitts in my rankings so that I could auto pick Pitts, which I would have. I came back to Civilization and I had Bowers on my team, and everybody was clowning me in the chat, which is understandable and actually deserved. I did deserve that.
I did not clown, nor would I, because I feel like that would have been not nice.
At least it's a dynasty league where it's still a good pick.
No.
I do have a lot of faith in Brock Bowers.
Yeah. Are you running back any of these these stacks? Are you doing a little skinny stack with Caleb and then DJ? Any run backs?
Yes.
Who are you running back?
If I run it back, it's going to be with Tajay Spears.
Ooh, the Tajay. Let's get him in.
Or Chig Okonkwo.
Oh, we'll do that as well. Boys and girls, look how easy it is just to change.
Oh my God. Run the Sims is flying. We are building so many stacks with so little effort.
Look at all the stacks over here, kids. It just stays over here. You can see them and you can keep adjusting them. If you change your mind later, you're like, shit, I want more. They're still there. You can just go right back to it. So yeah, this is how it goes. This is
you could roll your own cigarette while building stacks on Run the Sims.
Yeah, you could do anything.
Can a bugler next to you, papers, tray.
Smoke a
Run
brisket.
the Sims.
Yeah.
Oh, you could definitely smoke a brisket. Brisket, just make sure it's in there and let it go.
It's just so crazy that Roma Dunze is the most rostered.
Oh, he's awesome. I love Roma Dunze.
But
that's why. That 4,000 for Rome is a great value, and honestly, I'm surprised it's not higher than 13.
It is just surprising though that is it when you think this game it's one of the top 5 totals on the board and it's got nobody playing it, and so I know this is the
I do not have a block on Roma Dunze chalk. It's still a good play. I just got to be careful at getting overexposed to a rookie in his first NFL game against a pretty decent defense.
Yeah, and they also have some guy named Sneed,
L'Jarius Sneed.
Oh, him, yeah, that guy from the city.
Yeah, he's pretty damn good, and he's probably going to be on DJ Moore a lot of the times, but he doesn't travel. He's a press corner. I don't know how he fits into the Tennessee defense, but He's great. He's a great
Yes.
player.
We'll see how that works. New coaching system. You got rid of Variable, and we'll see how this offense is and how the defense comes out. And we'll
Buffalo.
mayonnaise eating huge cocked guy. See how that works out too. But anyway, last game that's exciting before we get into shit town again. Back to a bunch of the
rest of the board.
You've got to live in shit town.
Hey, at least we get 4 late window games. That's better than usual.
Yeah. And this game too, I don't understand. It's like people have fallen and hit their head. Nobody is rostered but Dalton Kincaid, and that is okay. That's fine. He's a good play. James Cook, 9% rostered. That should be higher. McBride.
Why do Dalton Kincaid when it feels so good to play Trey McBride instead?
I don't understand that. You could just it for like.
Hey, I want to pay $300 less and get half of the fantasy points.
I don't understand either why both these guys, Josh Allen and Kyler Murray, are so undervalued. How 6% for the guy who probably is going to win the Millie Maker? He's my big play. You can stack him with anybody you want. That's the cool part. You can stack him with anybody on the team. If you have,
I think it's that ambiguity that's causing it. We don't know who the best receiver for Buffalo is going to be this year.
Yeah.
My money is on Khalil Shakir. So if you're stacking Allen, which you don't even have to do, you don't have to stack Josh Allen this week.
Right.
You can leave it a mystery because week 1 is a mystery. We don't know. Nobody knows shit about fuck in week 1.
It's the best time of year.
Right. This is exploitable. Like if it's me, I'm doing Josh Allen with Marvin Harrison and Trey McBride, and maybe I'll throw in Shakir, maybe a little bit of Kincaid, but I'm not expecting a lot of upside from his receiving core because I don't think any of them are great big play guys. Like none of his receivers are, wow, look at this guy.
You're going to have to get multiple targets. So, for example, I was saying the same thing. Worthy players like that, Reed, who you touch it in their open field, they're gone. Shakir might have that more so. And sometimes in the past, Curtis Samuel has had that. He's coming off the turf toe. He might not be as explosive immediately. Maybe he will prove me wrong. I do like Shakir, though. I think the slashing ability of his play style.
He plays everywhere. He doesn't just play slot. Yeah. He plays X, Z, slot. Backfield. He's a great blocker. He's always on the field. He's a lunch pail coach's dream. You're not going to see number 10 come off the field very often because everybody loves Khalil Shakir. He plays his ass off.
Yes, he does. And that's hence the slash because he's multidimensional. He's able to do a lot. Same with Curtis Samuel too. So you got 2 guys. I'm not going to say Curtis Samuel isn't an upgrade to Khalil Shakir in the things he can do because I think he can run out of backfield. He can do a little bit more. But I do think when Josh Allen is scrambling around, Shakir will be more of somebody he looks for downfield. Although
smart players like Shakir get that telepathic connection with their quarterback early and often.
Yeah. And I have to name Matt Collins because Matt Collins sounds a lot like my
caveman.
Mike Collins, and doesn't like a kid. He's a caveman. He wears no shoes. He runs around barefoot on the NFL field.
Eats with his hands. Doesn't use utensils or anything. He's just he's one of the most interesting people I've ever seen.
It flosses his teeth with his hair. Stuff like that. I made that up. But anyway, whatever.
He probably does.
Yeah, cool guy. He's $3K, and I saw an article that says, "Don't be surprised if Matt Collins is on the field more than you think."
That sounds like our guy Matt Harmon.
Yeah, he's a great blocker, by the way, too. So that's the thing. If you want to be on the field in an offense, you're not always going to be running or be passing. You have to be blocking. And so, Shakir's littler guy. If you have Matt Collins and Keon Coleman on the field at the same time, you can press against those. You can push people around. You can wedge and chip and just kind of get nasty on the run side of it. So we'll see how the offense goes in this matchup. James Cook is somebody who I'm not going to stack, but I am going to play. If I'm not going to be going Josh Allen, if I'm not building a stack, I want this game. James Cook only 9,000, 69, or sorry, only 9% rostered. He's not 9,000, 6,900. Are you worried about the touchdown upside for him this year? And in matchups like this, I can see him getting multiple carries, maybe not from the 1 or the 4, and in that range.
I can see him making up for that by being the most targeted player in the passing game.
Mm-hmm.
He's a very important part of their passing game. The only guy I think that could actually steal touchdowns away from Josh Allen is Ray Davis.
Yeah. And of course, the perpetual touchdown king.
And of course, you know where Ray Davis is from.
I'm guessing NorCal.
Correct.
Yeah, I wanted to say that Matt Collins was from NorCal, but I think he's from another planet. Like he's from where Joe Rogan's from. So
yeah,
you know.
I wish he was from NorCal so I could claim the caveman as my own, but he's not, and he's still awesome. But wouldn't it be just amazing if he was?
He's from Encino. He's from Encino. I saw the
with Brendan Fraser.
I love it's one of my favorites. Interestingly enough, Buffalo's defense has undergone a little bit of a facelift. They moved on from Poyer. They've moved on from some other friends. Milano's back. He was their best linebacker. He got injured last year. Kind of changed the defense. I said 3,000. That's damn right playable. I'm not gonna lie to you. What do you think about this Bills defense and this game script? How do you see this game unfolding? Do you see a late kind of flurry or fury from Arizona, kind of like they always like to do, where they're coming back from 2 touchdowns at the end, or is this game just going to be like a throat stomping from the beginning?
Nope, I think Arizona beats them, and I think Arizona's defense is the better DFS play. Cheapest on the board. I don't think Buffalo's offense is going to gel immediately because Stephon Diggs was everything to their passing game. Yeah. Even in the second half of the season where he wasn't being targeted as often, Stephon Diggs was the heartbeat of that offense. Josh Allen, of course, is the motor behind the offense, but he's really got nobody that can beat people down the field. He's got nobody that's going to win contested catches and move the chains as well as Stephon Diggs did. I think Buffalo struggles in this game to score a lot of points. They're going to be fine long term, but I think Arizona might surprise some people. At 2,400 at the very bottom of the board, 3%. That's an extremely nice leverage pivot where you can get some decent points because we know Josh Allen throws a lot of picks. He fumbles a lot. He puts the entire offense on his shoulders, and he's very prone to turnovers. I usually try to exploit that because you get a good price on whoever's playing Buffalo because you tend to score a lot of points. I think Buffalo struggles to score a lot of points, and you might actually get some turnover equity from the Cardinals defense at 2,400. I'm all over that one. That's my favorite DST of the week.
I love that, and you're saving $600 here that you could play anywhere else, and you could get anybody else. So that's sexy. I think you're playing them against me, you son of a bitch.
I did say it's my favorite play.
You did. I did. I listened. All right. Speaking of a game that is interesting, when I see it on paper, I'm not so much excited here, but not at this price either for my guy. Kenneth Walker,
AW3.
I love him in cash, but holy guacamole.
No, thank you.
That's so expensive. He price wise is fine, but then the actual no.
This game's weird because it's a low total and it's getting a lot of chalk at the top. It doesn't make much sense. I can see doing the DK Metcalf at 12%. That's pretty smart because he's got tons of upside, oodles and oodles of upside.
Of course.
I prefer Jackson Smith and Jigba because I think he's next, especially with the hobbled Tyler Lockett, who's trending to not play tomorrow or be very limited if he does play.
Mr. Limited. So.
JSN's a superstar. He's an amazing wide receiver. We didn't get to see a lot of what he could do last year because he was just kind of relegated into the slot and doing dink and dunk stuff. They got a new offensive coordinator, Ryan Grubb, who was at the University of Washington last year. Led him all the way to the Natty, and guess what? They had 3 great wide receivers, and they used all of them.
Oh, wait.
They had Michael Penix throw into Jalen Polk, Jalen McMillan, and some guy named Rome Odunze.
Oh, so basically what you're telling me is Jackson Smith and Jigba has a chance to catch passes this year.
4,900 for a guy who might actually be a top 12 wide receiver this year.
I'm going to play him, and if you do a skinny stack, right? Let's say if you're like, okay, I'm gonna play a tiny little skinny stack.
Yep. Geno's underappreciated. Geno's coming back to be a QB1 this year. I'm calling it.
I like it. I'm not against it at all. I think this offense flips a switch, and not that they're going to be way better.
His whole
I-
offensive line was down last year. What was he supposed to do?
I think if that throw the ball a lot more than last year. They can't run in 12 personnel all the time. They got to do some 21. You know
They
what I
don't
mean?
want to run in 12 personnel when you have 3 great wide receivers.
They did last year for some godforsaken Matt Elberfusen reason. No, I'm sorry, it wasn't that. Who's the coach
Shane
over there?
Waldron. It was Shane Waldron, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But the problem was last year, both of their starting tackles were injured earlier in the season, so they had to run 12, or they didn't have anybody to block for Geno when he dropped back.
Yep. And it wasn't good. It was
bad. It was
bad.
very
bad. Oh, and speaking of that, kids, that's called a transition. We're gonna go over to this next bad game. I wrote about or said it, talked about it. Something I said something like
Take the under. The under.
I bet you that the LA Chargers do not run over 55 plays in this game.
No way. No chance.
And the league average is like 61 plays, by the way, kids. So
they're going to run clock. They're going to run field position. They're going to run the piss out of the ball. And you've heard of 12 personnel. They're going to be running 13 and 20 and 23 personnel.
Yeah, they're going to invent personnel. They're going to run the 40.
23 is what they call jumbo.
That's the goal line personnel. They're going to have just their 4 tight ends on the field or 1 H back, and then the biggest lineman they could find is their RB. And
hey, that would be something. Joe Alt, I mean, the first round pick, Joe Alt is a monster. And if you gave him the football, who's tackling that guy?
I don't know. I'm gonna call my shot here on defense is
the
Raiders
defense.
Defense.
That's a good value too. I like it.
It's a cheaper, and then you can also stack it up if you believe this is going to be a snooze shit fest, which I do think it will be. You could do a little Zamir White if you want to at 700. Yeah,
Dylan Lobby.
You like Dylan Lobby? The lob. Yeah. You saw the dance.
At least Dylan Lobby can catch the ball. Like Zamir might get 20 carries for 65 yards and might score a touchdown, but he's not going to catch the ball.
That is true. He's not going to be throwing the ball either. So
minimum price Dylan Lobby is the only guy I'm actually going to be putting in my pools. This is a gross ass game.
It's a nasty, nasty world.
Except our guy Brock Bowers. I will be playing some Brock Bowers.
Let's look at how Brocky Poo. Only 3% rostered, 4,500. That's a good deal.
That's your Pitts pivot. We've been talking about comparing the two in Dynasty. There you go, $100 less, and nobody has him.
Yep, here you go, right there, 20-3, and there's only $100 difference in the value there. So, I like that.
There you go.
All right,
this is what wins people money too, by the way.
Oh yeah, it's $100. It helps you. It's how it goes. Let's get off tight ends here. Let's go to quarterbacks here. I think this is one of the most interesting kind of QB decisions. Baker Mayfield versus Jaden Daniels. You've got, the Trumpers versus the Kamalas in this matchup here.
They're both gross.
No, I know. What do you think of Jaden Daniels, though? He runs the football a lot. That matters in this old game of the DFS.
Underappreciated passer too. I mean, this guy won the Heisman on the back of his arm, not his legs. Right. Of course, he's a spectacular runner. Like he's like Marcus Mariota with a jetpack, and that's really what he reminds me of. He's a much better passer than Mariota is. This Jaden Daniels kid is special. His first career game against a really good Tampa Bay defense is what scares me off of him, and what puts the nail in the coffin to fade that 11% on Jaden Daniels. I love Jaden Daniels, but his offensive coordinator is the king, the emperor of failing upward. Cliff Kingsbury has never done anything well in his entire career. He was a bad quarterback in the air raid. He's a bad coach every stop along the way. He's never been good at anything, and he keeps getting jobs. He is the skinny blonde version of Arthur Smith, and we're anointing him some offensive guru, and he's not. He never has been. He never will be. And this offense has a lot of weapons. So I don't want Jaden Daniels. I think that as bad as Washington's defense is, I'm targeting Baker Mayfield a little bit, but I'm targeting his weapons a lot of it.
And that's one thing I wanted to show
Chris Godwin. Chris win.
Oh, yeah. Both of them are in the top 4, by the way, for value. Jaden Daniels is number 1. Baker Mayfield is number 4.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah, they're both valued, but man,
Chris Godwin.
and then I mean,
Mike Evans leverage. That's sexy.
That's where you want to go, kids, if you want to get away from the God Chris win. But man, both those guys, I think you could do a stack with both of them. You could do a skinny stack with just them in it and not Baker, right? And just say I'm not going to worry about Baker because maybe he doesn't have the best day ever, but they have great days. How would you build?
Baker Mayfield, Chris Godwin, and if I'm going to do a run back, it's with Austin Eckler.
Oh.
Brian Robinson, no chance.
No. He
doesn't catch passes, and he gets lucky in scoring touchdowns. That's it. That's all he does.
Yeah. I mean, that's what all I do too.
And everybody's saying, "Oh, he's going to be the James Conner under Cliff." He's like, if that's the case, then you better hope he falls into the end zone a few times
for sure. I'm not basically Cliff Kingsbury is to vanilla ice cream what white is to vanilla ice cream. So it's not good,
And poor Terry McLaurin. What a great player. An outstanding player. And you just know that his footprints are going to be like, he's going to have cement footprints on the wide left position. And the corners across from him are going to be calling out which of the 4 routes he's going to run from that position.
They're going to know
every single play.
Yeah. Yeah. Cliff Kingsbury is a 1985 Macintosh. Is what he is. So,
he's basically running the wing tee out there with 4 wide.
Right. He plays in black and white. So you don't like that. Yeah. All right. Last but not least, your boys. Them boys. Yeah, them boys. How you feeling about them boys before we start this year? They had a little bit of a drama. Nobody wants to play with them, apparently. 9% only is Jerome Ford. What do you think about the boys this year? You got a chance on them? You going with them? You think they're gonna?
I'm taking all the unders. They suck. They're terrible. They have no trench help. They're one of the 2 worst defensive lines against the run. They're going to be bottom 5 in the league in offensive line play. This is going to be a terrible season for Dallas, and I think they're going to get absolutely stomped in Cleveland. Cleveland's a good football team. Cleveland is a good football team, and they have their shit together. Not Deshaun Watson notwithstanding, he's a pile of crap, but Jerome Ford's going to have himself a day tomorrow. There's nobody on this defense that can stop the run. Mike Zimmer, terrible by historically stopping the run. That's a huge downgrade going from Quinn to Zimmer as defensive coordinator. Humongous downgrade. The biggest downgrade I've ever seen where, it's Jerome Ford's going to have a gigantic game in this one. I think you fade all the Cowboys and the Browns, throw in some Amari Cooper revenge game narrative. That's a lot of revenge. They gave you up for a 5th round pick, bro. Go out there and get your bread.
Light them up.
I am rooting for Amari Cooper to light it up tomorrow. I'm not playing any Cowboys whatsoever. Maybe a little Jake Ferguson because he's Ferg nasty, but not much upside there. Maybe as a cash play. Njoku's great. Cooper's great, but Jerome Ford's the prize, and the Cleveland defense 3,100 smash, big smash.
And the Cowboys 1%. People do not believe in them.
No, Mike Zimmer's terrible.
That's bad.
Mike Zimmer is the old boys club. He shouldn't be coaching anymore.
Does he have one good eye? Is that?
Oh, he's got 2 bad eyes.
2 bad eyes. Right.
He's had surgeries on both of his eyes. He's just. I don't fault him for that. I just think he's a dinosaur in this league.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good, kids. I'm not going to be stacking, but you could stack the defense. You can't do it here, but you can stack the defense with the running back. You just can't do that in the sim. So
you get Justin on the line. Justin Freeman, we need to have the RB DST stack put into the stack builder.
Yes.
ASAP stat.
Yes, that's the only thing here you can't do. Yeah, that's it. But besides that, all right, you ready to generate?
Let's run it.
Let's run the sims. This is, the magic is happening. You can see them. They're working. They're going. And
yes.
We got some pits. We got some Jatavian Sanders, JT. I like that. DK in the flex. Mike Evans in the flex. There's a lot of your boy Jackson Smith and Jigba in the flex.
That's the first one I'm looking at. Actually, the second one I'm looking at. I'm skipping through all of the ones that have Yoshibas in there because I'm fading him completely.
Let's go down then. Let's and here's the thing, boys and girls. You can build again.
Player
right?
pool.
But if you don't like it,
pool.
you can get out of here and you can
hit
go
the X.
Go over here and you go, listen. I've got too much Yoshibas. Let me make it a little smaller so I can actually see what I'm doing here. But yeah, and you can just X him out completely.
Yep. Bam.
Say,
that's a lot.
Sorry, no, done. He's gone. Disappeared. And then
now run him again.
Run him again without that one guy who's fudging up your lineups. We didn't want any of the Yoshibas. We want better, higher upside games. Okay, now these are
there.
better.
We go.
Oh
my goodness.
Caleb Bijan, Rashad White, DJ Tankdale, Malik Neighbors, Drake London. Holy shit, there's a lot. I don't like Zach Ertz. We could figure out Jonnu Smith maybe in there, but
that the one with Anthony Richardson and Tyreek Hill and Drake London, Kyle Pitts, and Rashad White and Bijan. Like it's a super mega Falcons onslaught with Anthony Richardson. That's unique.
That is, yeah.
And Sanders at tight end isn't bad either.
This is good. I like this one. You know what? Let's build this one right here. Right? No, nothing's stopping us. Let's go into the Millie Maker. It's legal. We can do this. Nothing's gonna do anything to stop us. And then if we win, I will split the Millie with you. That's just how it. We gotta be fair. Gotta be fair. If legally we can't do that, then we won't do it. I got something in my eye. Whatever. Yeah. But okay, so this is our lineup: Rashad White, Bijan. Oh man, that's if you remember it, Bo, you might be able to call him out for me because I don't want to keep going back and forth. If you
Pitts and London are both in there too.
Yes, I do remember that. Go right here to Mr. Pitts. And we'll go to Mr. London. I can't believe he's only $6,000. That is just that's stupid. That was dumb.
It's pretty funny.
That was stupid. And then I did forget the rest of it. Let me see. And then we've got Carolina.
Tank Dell, Tyreek Hill. Tank Dell and Tyreek Hill. That's crazy.
Yeah, this is a crazy lineup. I love this lineup already.
It's pretty chalky, honestly, but what are you gonna do? Who is gonna go after all these chalk bombs?
Yeah, I don't know many who are going to. What is his price to? Jatavian's price. What is he at? 2,500.
Yeah, I believe so.
What's his last name here?
Sanders.
Okay, that's easier to find than. There we go.
There's your leverage play that nobody else is gonna have.
Yeah, for sure. And then also the Panthers. Just want to go to the Cardinals?
Yep, that's what I was thinking.
Do that. Fuck the Panthers.
Oh man, look at that. That's a beauty.
No one has this lineup. Not one other person.
Yeah.
No one. Not with the Cardinals. Not with Sanders. If you don't like Pitts, you can get rid of it and put Byers in there.
Double tight though. I remember somebody took down a tournament with that same strategy.
We took down. Yes, we did. It's all true. Well, next comes one of my favorite parts of the show. We're almost done, kids. We're going to look at our head-to-head lineup. So I'm going to pull my lineup out, and then I've got Bo's lineup. We do it different colors. Bo likes to do dark mode, and my phone, I have it in light mode. So, Bo's cool.
Roger.
I'm an old guy. Bo's cool. I'm not. Let's zoom in, though.
Super edgy with the dark mode. I can't stand light mode.
Yeah. But this is our lineup here. We'll zoom in a little bit, and then I'll let you break it down for us. Talk me through this. What are you doing here? Anthony Richardson, never heard of the guy.
Yeah, he's okay. He's a really, really good rusher. He's got some good wide receivers on his side. He's got a good offensive line. And his head coach is Shane Steichen, who is a quarterback whisperer. So I think Anthony Richardson with the upside in a shootout game with the Houston Texans at home at Lucas Oil Stadium. The barn's going to be rocking. A-Rich back from his shoulder injury last year. He was averaging 22 fantasy points a week before he got hurt. That's a great starting point. I'm stacking him with his ex Michael Pittman Jr., perennially underappreciated and underpriced, 6,800 for that stack, and I'm running it back with Mr. Nathaniel Dell, aka Tank. 5,500 is a crazy value. Cash game lineup, I'm not worried about chalk. That's why I have Alvin Kamara at running back. That's why I have Malik Neighbors at wide receiver, and Chris Godwin in the flex. I'm going with the PPR onslaught here. A lot of target volume here. Trey McBride's another one where Buffalo is interesting. They let Jordan Poyer go, and they named Mr. DeMar Hamlin the starting strong safety, which is great. It's a great story. Congrats to you, Mr. Hamlin. But Trey McBride's going to eat Hamlin alive in the middle of the field. So give me the Cardinals defense as a great value because Buffalo's offense, I think, is down a tick, and they're turnover prone. And then, of course, my Ray Davis NorCal shot, just in case he slips in for a touchdown from the goal line or from inside the 5 is what I expect. He's a thumper. He's a beefy boy.
That's what she said. Yeah. No, I like your play. I'm not going to give us our plus minus until we see mine, but you're strong to quite strong. I'm not going to lie. I got some unknowns in mind.
You got another rushing quarterback there.
Oh, wait, what? Me?
Tell me about the guy from the DMV, Jaden Daniels.
So I'm not a homer. I just want to put that. I'm not.
No, you're not. You do not like the Washington football franchise.
I do not, and I did not stack him with anybody. But
you don't need to stack a guy like that.
You don't need to. I don't believe in anybody else. This is a cash game. I'm going upside here with rushing, particularly. I'm going to predict a rushing touchdown. He could also pick up a passing touchdown, right? So
for sure.
2 scores would be helpful for me. I'm looking to get around 15, 16 points out of him. Not trying to break the bank, but he does have a little bit more upside with his legs. Get you 70 maybe yards rushing. I'd be happy with something like that. That'd be great. Jaleel McLaughlin, he's better than Javonte Williams. He's just better than him. He just is. He's average like he's better than him though. But he is.
He was last year, but he won't be this year.
Well, we'll see. At 4,300, I can't pass up that price.
Oh no, that's like Javonte 5,500. Like if you want to pivot to McLaughlin, that's fine. 4,300 McLaughlin is a steal.
It's not going to be.
I'm looking at it going, well, I had Ray Davis for 4,500. What the hell was I thinking? McLaughlin's cheaper and is going to get a lot more work.
I think they're going to be losing. They're down 5.5 by Vegas's standards, and so that just kind of calls for a late script with Bo Nix just dropping it off.
And you're doing something that's very important for cash games is look at those green numbers for the opponent's rank.
Oh yeah.
If you're building a cash lineup and you don't have a bunch of green numbers next to your player, you're probably not going to have a great time.
Yes. And that's where I went. And some of these are just
path of least resistance and the most volume is what you should do in cash games.
That's Mike Evans' middle name in cash games.
And Washington cannot cover anybody.
No. And the guy
what's my usual analogy? They couldn't cover a dead body with a tarp.
No. If they had a tarp, it would have been produced by the same company that Arthur Smith's dad owns. So it would not.
We have no idea where your shipment is.
No, sir. We've lost that to pirates. So
we don't even know if they're Somalis.
No, they're not. They're LA pirates on the trains. Yeah, I've seen the videos.
They're Covina. They tagged it up Covina.
But I went heavy wide receiver in my build with Mike Evans, Justin Jefferson, Drake London. I'm going upside, also matchup. If I can get 60 points between those guys, I'm good. I know you don't like Evan Ingram. I think Miami's going to lay the wood.
I just don't think
they're going to lay the wood. Yeah, I think they're going to lay the wood. And you've always been a Stone Hands hater, and I'm going to just after I get.
Hey, he turned that around. He only had Stone Hands in New York.
Yeah,
which I'm finding out might have just been a New York thing.
Yes. Can I tell you what? Their stadium is like one of the rings of hell. Like everybody gets hurt in
Dante's
that
Inferno.
It is like the first ring of Dante's Inferno. It is like 25% injury rate compared to everybody else. The place looks like hell when you look at it. The people there, I mean, New Jersey. Terrible. It's fucking terrible. They need a real grass field. They need like popcorn.
It's all flowers and puppy dogs and chirping birds when you escape that place.
Of course, you need like Colorado to creep in, or Florida, or some other type of, not a dark, cold, terrible place. Even New England looks inviting, So they
Jacksonville, North Florida,
right? Yeah, I rounded off with Mims as really a GPP bro play. It's a nod to Pete Overzet and the crew, because this guy is dripping with upside. He's probably the wide receiver too.
Does Sean Payton know he's on the team though?
I hope so. He definitely. It's not a Kendre Miller situation, where he's
no. Like Kendre Miller, obviously Dennis Allen just hates him. Just hates his guts.
Just fucking hates him.
We don't know for sure if Sean Payton knows who Marvin Mims Jr. is.
Hey, hold on, my battery's about to die. I gotta run and get my charge cord.
This guy. It looks like he's rounding out with Buffalo against the Arizona offense. That seems a little sketchy because Arizona's offense, they got some young kid named after a Hall of Fame wide receiver, Marvin Harrison. I think Buffalo is going to have some trouble covering Arizona, especially with Kyler Murray's pretty good. Marvin Harrison's really good. Trey McBride's really good.
Yeah, the issue really is coming to Orchard Park, that dump of a stadium that Denny says every field should be a dome when he watches. Yeah. And just
I disagree. I think Orchard Park's amazing. I wish I could go. I'm going to jump. I'm going to visit Buffalo, and I'm going to jump through a Lifetime table because that's just what you do. I'm going to eat some wings with blue cheese as prescribed.
Yes.
I'm going to light some shit on fire. That's the Buffalo way. And that fan base speaks to me.
I'm going to eat some stuff there that I would never eat anywhere else. And I'm going to like shit outside probably. But I'm with you. Take me with you, because here's the deal. I had some friends who went for a Commanders game last year, and they partied with them and stuff, and they wore their Commanders gear and stuff. They were the best people in the history of the world.
Because they're just football fans. They love the game.
Just bros and girls and ladies and chicks and dudes and yeah. So, but back to our main page. Do go follow us, Chalk Blocked. We're almost at 550 followers. We'll get there. Go buy some food at bigtimeflavor.co and patronize my man. He's got seasonings, recipes, the sauces, the bundles. Get yourself some for Halloween. Man, they do everything here. I love the sauces. I love the spices. And, your man is about to kick some ass. I want to shout out him because, he sounds, kind of like fluff, but there's no fluff, man.
Dude,
it's all stuff.
You know how crazy you have to be a professional fighter?
Yeah.
He's off the charts nuts. Like, this dude has lost his fucking mind, but he is the funniest, nicest guy in the world. You just don't want to piss him off.
I mean, look at that chest tattoo. That took like decades to do. He didn't come in for 5 seconds and so like touch me up. That thing looks like it is just golden. So,
and he's got a pet rooster. You can't fault a guy who has a pet rooster.
No, you can't fuck with anybody who has a pet rooster. Do go follow me. I'm creeping in on 14K. Go follow Bo. He's creeping in on 10K. Let's get him there. Let's get him. He got over 9. Let's get him to 10.
It took me like 2 years to go from 8 to 9.
You know what? It's been a bad time for the tweeters. Elon Musk fucking sucks. Fuck that guy. He's a piece of shit.
He's an idiot.
Yeah, he's a fucking moron. I hate him. He's a white supremacist too. So how about that? But anyway, shout out to all the loyal listeners, everybody who fucks with us. We fuck with you, and we'll be here pretty much 9 o'clock every Saturday night, unless my wife tells me I can't do it, which every once in a while she says I can't do it. But we'll be back.
You just keep trying.
Yeah, I know.
She said there was no way.
Yeah, she said it was too big. So, all right. On that, we got to get out of here. Have a nice time, everybody. Win